Hey everyone, so as I mentioned in my first Power Apps tutorial video, I was going to do another tutorial on a app that I have built from scratch for a client for a basic checklist. So in the first tutorial, I went through some of the apps that Microsoft have already sort of pre-built as templates, and sometimes they can be a little bit difficult to configure and connect to your data sources. So a lot of people recommend actually building, especially if it's a simple app, from scratch. So that was the route I went down for this project. The client was doing a checklist, a daily checklist, pen and paper, and wanted to make it digital if possible for a couple of different reasons. There was no opportunity to take images. The client's daily checklist, they wanted images of the kitchen, etc. They're in the hospitality sector, and they wanted images, and that wasn't obviously available with pen and paper checklist. And they also didn't want to have to print out the checklist and store the actual physical checklist for whenever inspectors come in. They obviously want to see proof of health and safety checklist being completed, etc. So they wanted to be able to save all of that data on the cloud if possible. So we agreed that I would build this for them. It's a very simple app, but it's very, very helpful and useful. It stores data on SharePoint, so the app is connected to SharePoint. If the client was a little bit bigger, we probably would have went for the Dataverse, which is similar to SQL, but there is not a huge amount of data in this checklist. There's only a couple of questions, and it's only done once a day, so not a huge amount of data. So in terms of the app itself, there is 5 screens: a login screen, which you can see now, a checklist screen, which is obviously the checklist, application admin screen. This is one of the really beneficial things that I added. Was the client is more than likely going to want to add questions or edit the checklist a little bit. So rather than have to come to me to do that, I allowed the client to be able to do that within the app itself. What I also could have added to this app was, and this client just didn't need it, the ability to look at some of the checklists that have been previously completed within the app itself. That wasn't a requirement for this project. The client just literally wanted to complete them each day and save them on SharePoint. But I could have also added in a separate screen that you can select the day or whatever filter you want to use, and you can view the checklist details, view images, etc. within the app itself, which is pretty cool. You have a success screen, which is basically just letting the user know that the checklist was successfully saved and completed. And then you have the attach images screen. So what we'll do now is we'll preview the app. This app was built for a phone. So first of all, we'll preview it here within my laptop. And then whenever I go to attach an image, it won't pick up a camera. So it's going to look like I can only attach an image from my laptop. But whenever I preview it on my phone, which I also will do, you'll be able to see that it picks up the camera on my phone, and I can either take a live photo or I can attach a photo that I've already taken. So it's pretty flexible in that way. So what we'll do is we'll just preview the app really quickly. So as you can see, it picks up my names, but if someone else logs in that has a different username, it will obviously pick up their name as well. So that's important in terms of seeing, okay, who actually completed the checklist. If you have multiple members of staff, then you obviously want to know what employee completed it. So click on Start the Daily Checklist. You can see here that it also pre-populates the date, so which is pretty helpful. And then you have your checklist here. So have a couple of questions, so I'm just going to answer one of them just for the sake of time. So has the grill been cleaned? Yes. And then you would obviously attach a photo of the grill. So you click here to take the images. It pre-populates the date and time. And then the area is the grill is in the kitchen, so you just want to be able to categorize that. And then this is where on my phone you'll be able to see it actually links to my camera. So what we'll do is we'll click save on this just so you can see the image being saved on SharePoint. Again, I'm not going to go through all of them. And then you just click on submit checklist, and then you get the successful screen. So what we'll do is we'll actually go to SharePoint. This is the site that I have the app's data going to. So automatically we'll start with I have a couple of different lists where the data is going. So user answers. So it looks like there's 7 answers here, but I actually only populated one of them. So as you can see, the one yes is here. You can see the date and time that I was completed at. And then if we go back, there's also a table for the images, and you can see here that this is the most recent one. I forgot to delete this one from earlier. And if you click in, you can actually see the time, the category, and also the image that I just attached from my laptop. So what I'll do now is I will go through how the app looks on a phone, just so you can see that camera feature. So what we're going to go through now is we're going to go through how the app looks on the phone. So in order to access the app, you just download Power Apps, which you can get on the App Store. And whenever you click into Power Apps, you'll be able to see the app itself. I'm just going to go back out and go back in again because it didn't go to the home screen there. So as you can see, this is the home screen of Power Apps, where you'll have all of the apps that your organization or that you have built. So we're going to go through the same one that we went through on the laptop, which is the daily checklist app that I just built for a client. So as you can see, it looks identical to how it looks on the laptop. The main difference being the camera feature. So that was the main reason why I wanted to show how the app works on a phone. So I'm going to just fill in one line again for the sake of time. Whenever you click the attach photo, you have a couple of options. I'm just going to fill this in here. You have either take a live photo or upload a photo. So I'm just going to take a live photo just to see, so you can see how that works. So you can see that it attaches to my camera here. This is just a quick preview of our new website, which we are nearly finished. So if I just take the image and click use the photo, save that down and then submit the checklist. And what we'll do is we'll go to SharePoint now on my phone as well. So you can see how quick that image saves to SharePoint. So what we'll do is we'll go into the app, the site where the app is. We'll go to the list where the images are saved. And then this is the image that I just took. So you can see here the date that it was taken, who it was taken by, and the image itself. So extremely useful in terms of being able to capture images as part of a checklist. And that's obviously something that is basically impossible to do with pen and paper checklists.